Hey everybody, this is a quick attempt to make your homework a little bit more clear and manageable. This is the year 2022. I hope to use this for a few years into the future, so it may not look exactly like this with the dates, but it'll be similar. So here's this particular homework assignment where we're looking at using technology to help solve problems, and we're exploring some of these things for the very first time. So one of the things we're going to use is GeoGebra Classic. Okay, so I say create an account in GeoGebra and then use your Pinger email account and then construct an equilateral triangle. I won't read all of that. I give you some hints, and then it says save your construction and copy the URL of your construction. So let's try to do that. So if I click over here and create a new page and do GeoGebra Classic comes up. If I click on that, now I already have an account, so this is kind of jumping into something that you might not see exactly this way, and I'm going to drag this a little bit so we see a bit more of it here. And oops, maybe I need to shrink it so it's all in the window. Give me a moment. All right, so there's a little bit smaller, and hopefully you can see most of what we need to see. All right, so I don't like the grid when we're doing geometric drawings, and I don't like the axes. We'll use those at times, but not often when we're drawing. So if I click on this, I can see the axes and the grid. If I happen to choose a different tool, like the point tool, then when I click on those, I don't see that. So you have to be mindful of which tool you've selected. You can see how the blue highlight goes around the different tools when I select them. I need the arrow tool to be selected. That's called the selection tool, but I call it the arrow tool. Once you're on the arrow tool, turn off the axes, and then when you click on the grid, select a white background. All right, now we have this open blank background, and I challenged you to come up with an equilateral triangle. So I suggested that you use circles. There are lots of different ways to draw circles. This top one is often the most common, where we can click on a point and then pull out the circle, and you'll notice wherever I click, where my arrow is, I would create a second point like that. So I could then create a smaller concentric circle by starting on the same inner point and dragging it out, and now I have that point there as a resizing tool. All right, if I go back to the arrow tool, I can pick these things up and I can resize them, all right? And I can move it around, but that's the center of both of those circles, all right? So if I want to delete something, I can go here and take the delete tool and I can delete it. In this case, to create an equilateral triangle, you'll see if I go back to the circle drawing tool, but I click on this point at the center, and I drag it out here. You see how the arrow changes into the finger and kind of jumps? Then I can click there, and now the two circles are locked together. So practice doing that, and if you keep goofing around, you will quickly see a way to make an equilateral triangle. So then if you want to save this, if I go over here and click Save, it will prompt me to create an account, to sign into that account, and I have already done this, but when you do it, then if I sign in, I can then title it, and I can call it, by the day. This is the October assignment, and maybe number 1. And then if I click Save, it will save it, okay? But where did it go? So if I do that again and click Save, I can take and go to this sharing option. Whoops. And I should be able to see it perhaps, and maybe it's in the export. I'm going to cancel that. I just want to share it, and there it is, share. Okay, so there's now the URL. I can then copy that. I just click on the copy, and then when I go back to my canvas, if I want to see what it's like as a student, I can turn on the student view, and you should see your homework looking something like this. And when you go to start your assignment, all you need to do is say, "Hi, Mr. Olson. Here is my GGB GeoGebra Classic assignment. And then I'm just going to hit return and paste it down there. You could also probably just go like this, highlight it, and then can I paste it in there? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Probably. Maybe I can make it a hyperlink and make it turn blue, but I don't see that right there. All right, so that's the first part. Then the second part is to do something in Desmos. So again, if I create a new page for Desmos, graphing calculator, up comes something like, up comes something like Desmos graphing calculator right there. I think that's what it'll be. No, that's funny. Not sure why it's not. I think I just want Desmos. Okay, that's what I'm more used to seeing. And then I click on that part of it, and it should look like this. All right, and now I can type in y equals negative 3x plus 2, something like that. Or I could type in from one of my puzzles, y is equal to the square of some number divided by 4. So if I did x, then squared, and then I have to arrow over. If I go divided by 4, do you see how it types it like that? I don't want that. I want to arrow over once, and that drops the cursor down, and then do divided by 4. Okay? So once I get a couple of equations that I'm proud of, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm already signed in, but you will create an account. And then once you sign in, then you're going to share this with me, and then I'm just going to copy that Desmos link and go back to my assignment page and say, here is my Desmos creation. Okay? And then why don't you also type in your answers to any of the homework questions that I've assigned, and you can have your like 3 different reasons why each of these might be good at solving a certain type of problem or whatever. And then you submit your assignment, okay? And then I can grade it, all right? And oops, new attempt. Can I do it again? Yep, I could do it again because I forgot to paste my URL, and I'll see it there, okay? So if you make a mistake, I think you can correct it. Good luck. I hope it goes smoothly.